You guys, Harry Styles came out with a new single last night and he was on SNL, so it's been a good day. I was watching that and then I listened to the record. It's so freaking good. It's so delicious, like legitly delicious because it's called watermelon sugar. So, hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Shania, and today I'm in a little bit of a different setup, and it's because I am doing the History of My Bookshelves challenge, which was very, very recently created by Emma from Emma Books here on YouTube, and I will link her video down below so you can look at that if you want. But essentially, it is kind of like a tag. It's basically a 25 question prompt that Emma came up with where you go through and figure out which book fits with each question, and then you talk about it and talk about maybe a little bit of quirky stories you have behind each book, how you got it, just the history of how you got the books, essentially. Alright, so this whole like standing biz is probably not the best idea for me because I am going to be moving around so much in this video because for some reason my hyper level went up with me standing up instead of sitting. So I'm sorry if I'm really annoying in this video, but other than that, let's just get into it. Hey guys, it's me. So I'm currently editing the video right now and I'm realizing that I can't keep my ass still for 1 second, and so the camera's bouncing from time to time, and I just want to say I'm sorry for that now, and this is a further reason why I should not be allowed to stand in my videos. But yeah, let's just get back into the video. Alright, so the very first question in this challenge is, what is the oldest book in your bookshelves? Alright, so oldest book in my bookshelves. I have mentioned before that the oldest book that I can recall buying myself anyways was Generation Dead by Daniel Waters. So I think we're gonna go with that. I think that's appropriate. Generation Dead. So, yep. Okay, so the second question is, what is a book that you read in 2013? Okay, so 2013, I was a junior or senior. No, I was junior/senior going into high school. Not college, high school. So, what did I read that year? What did I read? I want to say Allegiant. Did that come out in 2013? Did it? I feel like maybe that's one that I read. Why doesn't it say? Ooh, 2013. Okay, we're going with Allegiant. Boom. Alright, so the second question is, what is a book that you read in 2014? So 2014, I was a senior. What did I read then? Did City of Lost Souls come out in 2014? Wait. No. I know one that I read. Clockwork Princess. I'm pretty sure I read this one in 2014. When did this come out? Shit. Okay, this one came out in 2013, but I'm pretty damn sure that I read this in 2014. I don't know. We're going with Clockwork Princess. Screw it. Okay, the next question is a book that you read in 2015. Okay, so 2015, I was in college. I was a sophomore in college, and I was in a reading slump. I didn't read, like, anything in 2015. So, I don't really know what to do. Wait. Actually, hold on. I read, because I was a sophomore, so I was in English Brit class. So, I read The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. So, I read this one. We're going with that. Okay, so the next question is a book you read in 2016, and this is where it gets really shitty for me because I didn't read anything, I don't think, that year. I don't think I even was requested to read anything. So, I don't know. So now I'm just going to pick and choose. Screw this. I'm freaking over this. We're not even halfway through the questions yet, and I'm already like, I don't know what to put in it. So, we're going with Maze Runner. So, there. Okay, so the next question is 2017, a book you read in 2017, and again, I was in a reading slump, but I do remember picking up a book, and I remember reading it specifically because I found it, which, whatever, I'll tell you guys that story in a second, but the book that I am choosing for this one is Small as an Elephant. So, now we're in 2018, so it's looking better. Shania is almost done with college, and she's finally getting out of her reading slump. So, actually, no, did I graduate in 2018? Yeah, I graduated college in 2018. So, the book that I read in 2018, I'm going to go with Restore Me, because I'm pretty sure this came out in 2018. Yep, came out in 2018. So, we're choosing this book for 2018. Yeah. Alright, so the next question, which in my opinion I thought was going to be the easiest, but now that I'm thinking about it, this could be the hardest question, and it is a book that you read in 2019, and I was thinking it'd be easy because I read a lot more, I wasn't in a reading slump, but, what damn book do I choose, you guys? Like, I read a lot, so I don't know which one to choose, and now it's kind of an issue. I think we're going to go with Throne of Glass. Yep. I think we're just going to go with this bad boy, and that's that. Yep. Okay. Alright, so the next question is a book that you have read more than once. And, okay. I've reread a lot of books. A lot. So, I'm thinking that I should probably choose the book that I've reread the most out of them all. But, like, do I want to use that book now? Yes, I am. Okay, so we're going to choose my baby. And even though I just chose Throne of Glass, I'm going to take A Court of Mist and Fury because this is my baby, and I have read this so many times. I love you with all my heart. So, we're going to do that one. Okay, so the next question is a book that you have waited more than a year to be published. Now, there's a lot of books that I have read that I have waited for a very long time, and the first one that came to my mind was Ignite Me, but I already used that series, so I screwed myself on that one. But I think I'm going to go with City of Heavenly Fire, because I waited a long time for this one. Alright, so the 11th question in this challenge is a book that you read while you were on vacation or visiting somewhere else. And, okay, the first one that comes to my mind is A Man Called Ove, or Ove, I guess. And I don't have that with me right now. I just lent that out to a friend. But I think I'm going to use it. So the next question is a book that you got someplace special, and that does not include your local bookstore. So, let's see. I was just in Seattle not that long ago, so I think I'm going to go with the book that I got there because I found it and I thought it was super cute. Okay, I just realized that I fucked up a little bit, and because this next question is a book that made you cry, and the two books that come to my mind that I bawled like a little freaking baby, I already used. So, I'm going to switch shit around, and because I can do whatever I want, and basically I'm going to take Clockwork Princess, which I said was a book that I read, when did I read that, 2014? I'm going to switch that around, and I'm going to choose a different book for that because I'm going to use Clockwork Princess as the book that I cried my little eyes out. So, a book that I read in 2014. We're going to do something different. Okay, wait. Did Rapture come out? Oh shit, that's hush. If Rapture came out during this year, then we're solid. Shit, this came out in 2012? Am I seriously that old? Like, what the fuck? Okay, well, does it have to be from that year? Because I don't really know what came out that year. What came out that year? Did Abundance of Catherine's come out that year? What? This book came out in 2006? What are you talking about? Oh my god, okay. Why is this so difficult? I have the best damn book for this. Okay, hold on. Why did I think about this earlier? Okay, I have a book here, which none of you probably know, and that's okay, because it's a story. This is my story, so whatever. I read this in 2014. I got this in 2014. It came out in 2014. So we're going to talk about it. Yes! Okay, there's my book. I've had so much Mountain Dew today. Sponsor me, Mountain Dew, because everybody has to watch how freaking crazy I am in this video because of your product. Thank you. Okay, so the next question is, what is a book that you have read in one sitting? And I've read a lot of books in one sitting, but usually the books that I read in one sitting are ones that I have on the Nook because I don't know why. But most recently, the one that I just read that was in one sitting was Heretics Anonymous. So I literally just finished this book and I sat down and I read it and yeah, didn't get up once. So, alright, the next question is a book that you got as a gift. And I just got this one for my birthday for my best friends. So, it is The Sun and Her Flowers. I just got this one. So, that's the gift that I got. Okay, for the next question, which is a book that you read before actually owning, in regards to like maybe borrowing it from the library or a friend. The book that I read before is, I'll choose this one, Red Queen. I borrowed this from one of my friends and I read it, and then I went out and bought my own copy. So, yeah. Okay, so the next question is a book that you lent to someone else. And, well, I just mentioned that I lent one out. But right away, I have a story about one that I lent out, and I have to choose this one specifically because of that. And so we're going with Mockingjay by Suzanne Collins, because I have the best. Well, not really the best, but it's a good story to me anyways. Okay, so the next question is a book that you own that is damaged. So, we're going to go with one that I know I have a story about, and we're going with this one, my Catcher in the Rye copy, and I'm not going to throw this one because I don't need it to be more damaged than it already is. The next question is, what is a book that you got on sale or discounted? And let's see, I get a lot of books on discount because I order them from Book Outlet. So, let's see, I got Opposition in the Lux series on discount from Book Outlet. So, there it is. Oh God. I just said that I didn't want to damage this, and I just threw it on there, and it made a weird sound, but it's okay. It's okay. Fuck! Okay, we're putting this one right here. All right, I have no idea what question we're on, but we're moving along, and the next question is, what is a book that you read with a friend, like a buddy read? And I read a lot of books that were buddy reads, so it's a matter of choosing. Okay, let's see. Buddy read. What have I read? Well, we'll go with this one. That's fine. We'll go with this one. Okay. I'm going to go with Shiver series because I read that with my parabate. So, there we go. Alright, so we're on to question number 21, which is the best number. And I don't know why I keep looking at my books. So this question is a book that you associate with a song. Now, I know a book right away that I think of when it comes to a song, but I don't have the copy with me at this moment. I did, and I don't know where it went. So we're just gonna go with it. It's fine. I'll just insert a picture here, and that is Their Eyes Were Watching God, and I always associate that with a certain song, and we'll get into that in a second. Okay, question number 22 is a book that you associate with food. Yeah, I have no freaking idea on this one. Food, that's a good question. Do I have any that look like food? Does blood count? Like, does that count as a food? Because I got plenty of those. I have one. Okay, hold on. Yeah. I'm going with this one because it talks about sticky buns in it, like constantly, and it made me want one the whole time. So, okay, next question. We're almost to the end. The next question is, what is a book that you bought years ago or you read years ago that you probably wouldn't buy now? And, yeah, I'm going to go with this one because this is the first one I think of, and it is the Intertwined series. Honestly, at some point, I'm going to unhaul this because I don't need it anymore, but, yeah, that's the one we're going with. Okay, so we're looking for a book that I associate with years in the past. I don't know, whatever that question was. And I think I really want to go with, I'm going to go with Hush Hush on this one just because I always think of good old times. The next question is a book that you used to like but you don't anymore. So, okay. I have a lot of books that I used to read that I really don't enjoy anymore. So, but honestly, the first one that comes to mind is Nightshade. I just think of this one, and honestly, like, if you would ask me my favorite series back then, I don't even know if I would say this one. Alright, so apparently I thought that this was a 25 question challenge, but looking at Emma's questions, she has 26. I don't know how she did that. So, 26th question, which is the last question of this challenge, is what is the newest book on your shelf? So, all my newer books are down here, which seems kind of weird, but I keep all my like to be read books down here just so when I'm sitting I can see them. I don't know. But so the newest one that I just bought, well actually it's probably Wicked Saints. I just got this one from Book Outlet. So there we go. There we go. I have picked out all of my books, 26 books for this 26 question challenge, I guess. And yeah, let me tell you guys a little bit about my little stories that I have behind these books and why I still own them, why I still love them, and yeah, let's get into it. Okay, so if you guys watched my very first video, which was the BookTube newbie tag, I talked about this book, but this is the oldest book that I think I have on my shelf. At least like the very first book that I bought with my own money, which I mentioned, but it is Generation Dead by Daniel Waters. Alright, so I did mention that the book that I read in 2014 was kind of one that I switched from Clockwork Princess to this one, and I did mention that this is a book that you guys probably don't know, probably don't have your hands on most likely, but that is because it was written by one of my high school classmates. And so like in high school, we have to do these things called senior projects in order to graduate. So it's a project that you start at the very beginning of your senior year and you work on it throughout. You have to get so many hours in, and then at the end you write this huge paper on it, well it's not huge, but like a 10-page paper on it, and then you have to present it to the community. So like anybody that wants to come, you present it to them, and then the next day you present it to judges and you get graded on it, and then that's basically your grade for your like senior English class basically. So you can choose like anything you want for your senior project, and so what I did for mine personally, which is a little side story but I will probably tell it another time, is I did a senior project on making perfumes, or how to make perfumes. And so one of my classmates, one of hers, what she wanted to do was write a book. So she wrote a book and she got it published and everything, and gave it to everyone in the class, and which was awesome. And she based her characters off of her classmates. So I have my own character in this book, which is really cute. She has a different name, but she did base a character off of me. So that was really cool, and it's kind of a cute little story. And I really, really love it. And then she wrote this little cute message to me when she gave it to me as a gift. So it's really great. One of the two main characters in the book that she wrote about are actually, one of them is my best friend, and so those two characters in this book, they were dating in high school, and she based their relationship off that. And then now they're actually getting married, and I'm going to be her maid of honor in her wedding. So I'm really excited about it, and it's just so cute when you think about books like this and like how cool it is. You know, this is like a very, very meaningful book. Alright, so a book that I read in 2015, I remember, so I mentioned it, but this book that I read, The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, I had to read this for my British literature class in college, and I really, really enjoyed it. I loved this book. However, what I hated was that class, because she would cold call on people all the time, which, like, if you guys don't know what cold calling is, you know, just basically like calling you out and making you answer a question on the spot. And one, I hate that now that I think about it in the past, because I'm in law school right now and they do that every day and I freaking hate it. Like, I'm probably gonna have nightmares about being cold called on for the rest of my life. But anyways, so I hated it then because she would call on us and be like, so what did you think that the author meant or the writer meant at this point when he said this? Like, whenever I think of this book, I think of that and the fact that I had to read it, but like, I don't hate this one. I just hate the fact that my memory is tied to this because of that stupid college class that I had to take. Ugh. Okay, so Maze Runner is a book that I said I read in 2016, so whatever. I think I did. I don't really know for sure, but we're gonna choose it. And Maze Runner I solely read because the movie was coming out, or it did come out at that point. I have no idea. But I read this one, and I liked it. I recently talked about it in my latest, or the video that came out recently that I did that talked about popular series that I didn't finish, and this is one of them. So I liked it. I really don't have any stories behind it besides I simply read it because the movie was coming out, and I wanted to know more about it, but I really just wanted to watch the movie because Dylan O'Brien was in it, and Dylan O'Brien is hot. Personally, I think his best movie is The Internship. I think he just looks smoking there, like with the glasses, like, oh, so attractive. So the book that I read in 2017 was Small as an Elephant by Jennifer Richard Jacobson. So this book has kind of a cute story. Like, one of the things that I really like when I'm book shopping is I like to find books that are just randomly placed. That just kind of like, they're not in the spot that they're supposed to be, but they just intrigue me because I find them there. And this is one of them. This one was like, I was shopping with my friend and we were kind of looking around, and this one was just like randomly put on a table at Barnes & Noble for no reason, and it just looks so cute. I mean, look at it. It's got a freaking elephant on it. It's adorable. So it's just so cute, and I love finding books just randomly placed, especially when I find them and I read them and they're really good and adorable, like this one was. Okay, so the book that I read in 2018 was Restore Me, and so the story I have with this one, I love the Shatter Me series a lot, and specifically I love the first three, so Shatter Me, Unravel Me, and Ignite Me. I love those a lot. So when Tahira Mafe, like when she decided that she wanted to do another add-on or 3 more books to the series, I was kind of iffy on it because I felt like it really ended well, but at the same time I was really excited because I wanted more Warner and Juliet. I wanted to know more about their story and how they went off from there, so I felt like there was probably room for them to grow. This one is my least favorite in the series. Okay, so 2019 I chose Throne of Glass, which is kind of dumb because I love Sarah J. Maas a lot, and I love her books, but I only read them this year, which seems so ridiculous to me, especially for the fact that I felt like I've read this for like the past 5 years, but really I only read it this year. Honestly, whenever I think about it, all I can think with this series is I'm just so happy that I found Sarah J. Maas. I don't know what my life was like without her. I don't know why I didn't find her sooner. It kind of pisses me off a little bit, but I'm really glad I picked it up because I love Aylin. She is my top book girlfriend of all time. She's just, she's so badass. I love her so much. But this is not the original copy, if you guys couldn't tell. This is the collector's edition. I don't really know where my original Throne of Glass book is, but this is the collector's edition. If you guys don't have it and you guys want it, you should definitely pick it up because it is gorgeous. It's beautiful. So that is my 2019 read. Okay, so sticking with the Sarah J. Maas train, the next question that I had was, what was a book that you have reread? And I chose Court of Mist and Fury because I have reread this sucker so many freaking times. I mean, look at this beautiful tab work I have here. Like, so many great parts in this book. Oh my god, it's so delicious. This is probably one of the best slow burns that I've ever read, because it was just, the whole book is really just a continuous slow burn, and even the first one, it kind of starts with a slow burn too, but it's delicious, and it's the most amazing, like, representation of hate to love for trope like that. I love this book, you guys. This is literally, like I said, it is my baby. I love this one with all my heart, and if I had to choose one book on like a deserted island that I had to have with me and I would reread it and I'd be totally fine if it was the only one I had, it would be this one, hands down, because I just love this. I love the characters and I love the setting of the book. It was so well done. So I know that there's a lot of issues that people have with Sarah J. Maas and like especially with this series, but I love it so much. It's so popular for a good reason, and God, do I love Reese with all my being. I want him in real life so bad. So a book that I waited for more than a year for it to be published, I chose City of Heavenly Fire. Now, my story that I have behind this one, I have already talked about in my recent video, which was popular series that I DNF'd. So you guys should definitely go check out that one just because of the story for this one, because honestly, it's a good one. Alright, the book that I chose for a place where I got it somewhere special was 101 Artists That You Should Listen To Before You Die. And the reason I have this one is because I got this when I was in Seattle in February of this year. And I was with a bunch of girlfriends, and we went to, I just had to go to this one bookstore. I don't even remember what it's called. I think it was that's a Tattered Bookstores in Denver. I don't remember what this one was called. So I had to go to that bookstore, and I remember I saw this book, and it was one of those random books. I'm telling you, it was just randomly placed somewhere, and I took it out, and I was like, oh, this is what I need, because my friend and I, we love to read really cool books, and I thought this was going to be a really cool coffee table book, which it is. And it just basically goes from like the years. So we have like Bach here, so it's like way in the past, and then the more you get closer, the like closer or to the end of it, the more like you get more recent ones like Kanye West. I think I eventually at some point I want to make a playlist on this one, just like picking a really good song from each artist, and like, you know, basically 101 songs, and having a playlist like that on Spotify. So at some point I will do that. All right, so the book that I chose for a book that made you cry is Clockwork Princess by Cassandra Clare. So I had to choose this one because this one is probably the one that I cried so hard with. And it was one I remember this. I read this book on a Saturday, and I finished it Sunday morning, and I was just reading it, and I started crying at the end, just obnoxiously crying, you know, like one of those hardcore sob ones where you're like hardly breathing, but like you're just so emotional at that point and you just look like a train wreck. That was the type of crying that I was doing with this one. Okay, so the book that I chose for one that I read in one sitting was Heretics Anonymous. So I read this book very recently, like only a few days ago, and I sat down, read it, had a good time with it, and got out of there. So basically, I really enjoyed this book. I don't really have any great stories behind it, just for the fact that I've been wanting to read this book for a long time, and I finally got to it, and I read it in only a few hours, and I loved it. But I will say that there's one part in this book that I loved. And I wanted to read this because I heard it was hilarious, and it was. It was very funny. I was laughing very hard. But the part that I laughed at the most was, so I don't think this is really a spoiler, but basically at one point, the main guy in this book is with the girl of his choice, the girl that he's interested in, and he's trying to figure out like how far he can get along like with her, so basically how far he can, you know, like they're making out, so he wants to know the extent of their makeout session, like where is it gonna go, and she basically says, well, think of my body like the United States of America. And he's like, what? And she's like, well, so let's like, my head is Alaska, my throat is Utah. And he's like, okay. And then she's like, so I just think you should stay away from Florida. And he's like, wouldn't Florida be your feet? And she's like, okay, fine. Stay away from Kentucky. And it's so funny. And then he's eventually like, okay, but what about the Dakotas? And she's like, the Dakotas? And he goes, yeah, you know, like North and South Dakota, like, what about the two Dakotas? And obviously he's talking about her chest. And I just laughed so hard. One, because if you guys don't know, I'm from South Dakota, so anytime that South Dakota's mentioned, I crack up in books all the time, but it was especially funny here, and the fact that he was like, what about the two Dakotas? Oh my god, I was laughing so hard, so that's my little story for you guys. Alright, so the book that I have that is damaged, I'm really excited to tell this story just because it's very special to me, and that was The Catcher in the Rye. This book is beat up. It has taped, the cover's taped, but I love this copy, and I probably will never get rid of it just because I love it so much. So how I got this one was I got it from my high school history teacher, who continues to this day to be a really great role model. And for my high school graduation, he gave me one of the best gifts ever, which was his copy of Catcher in the Rye, which I loved that book, and we always talked about it, and I loved it so much. So he gave me his personal copy, which said a lot to me, just because you can tell, like, this book has been used and abused and well loved, and the fact that he gave me a book that he loved himself and cherished enough that he felt that it was in better company with me, I don't know, it just meant a lot to me, and it was one of the best gifts ever, just to have something that was so personal to someone else and have that for me. So I probably will never get rid of this book just because And it means a lot to me, and I do love this book a lot. So, yeah, I love this book. I'll never get rid of it, ever. Okay, so the book that reminds me of a song whenever I think of it, or a song reminds me of it, vice versa, whatever. I don't have the copy, like I said, but it is Their Eyes Were Watching God. And the reason that I always think of a song with this one was because at the time, Tristan, my boyfriend, and I, we just were like in the midst of like getting together or like starting to date, and we were seniors in high school. And so we were, in that little stage where you are like, oh, what's your favorite color? What's your favorite movie? Like those type of things, And so his favorite band, which I had found out, was Cage the Elephant. And I right away, like, I knew some songs by Cage the Elephant, but I didn't know them all, so I wanted to, immerse myself into his world and have some things to talk about. So I started listening to them, and at that time, I was in AP English in my senior year of high school, and our assignment was to read Their Eyes Were Watching God. So during that point, I was listening to Cage. So the song that I remember most when I was reading that book was Shake Me Down by Cage the Elephant, because I was like, right away, I think I remember when I listened to it, I was like, oh, that's like my favorite song by Cage the Elephant so far. I love that song. So, of course, now when I think about it, I'm like, whenever I hear Shake Me Down, I think of Their Eyes Were Watching God, and then vice versa. So if I think of the book, I think of the song. So I don't know, I love those things, and that's why when I read, I do try to listen to a new band or a new artist, or at least a new song, just so that when I hear it, I can go back and think of that book too. It's just a nice little connection that you can make, and I try to do that as much as I can. But alright, so this one is one of my favorite stories, okay? So this is the book that I got as a gift, and my friend gave me this because my original copy of Mockingjay got lost. Basically, I want to say lost in quotations. So, in high school, I would lend out my books all the time. People would want to borrow books, so I'd constantly lend it out, and I didn't really have the greatest system in mind, because I never, unless it was like very specific, I couldn't really remember who I lent the books out to, because it got so crazy. People would be asking me for books all the time, so I would lose track, basically, of who I lent the books out to. And I lent out the Mockingjay book to someone, and I couldn't remember who it was. And I was asking everybody, I was like, do you have this book? Or do you have this book? Did I lend it to you? And nobody had it. So I was like, where the hell is my Mockingjay copy? I was getting pissed. So I never knew where it went. I never found out where it went off to. And eventually one of my best friends bought me a new copy. So thank her for that. But I finally found out where that copy went to, my original copy. And guess where it went? My boyfriend had it. And so Tristan one day was just like, yeah, so actually your Mockingjay book, that was me that didn't give that back. And let's keep in mind that I've been dating him for the last 6 years, and this little shit just now told me. Out of all these years, he just now told me that he had the book and he never gave it back to me. And the reason he didn't give it back to me was because, I'll just show you guys, but like, one of the reasons that he didn't give it back to me is because I tab my books. I like to put tabs in for like parts that are funny. It's my annotations, basically. What Tristan did when he borrowed it was, as he was reading through the book, he would take the tabs out. And he got to the end, and then he realized that I kept the tabs in there for a reason. It wasn't like a bookmark, and I think he was thinking at the time that it was a bookmark, but it was not a bookmark. So he took the tabs out, and then he didn't know where they went. So he was like, shit, she's gonna kill me. And when I lent it out to him, we weren't dating when I lent it out to him, so he didn't know me as well, so he was a little bit freaked out. And he never gave it back to me. But it's a great story, and it's funny that he was so terrified of me. It makes me feel good that he's scared of me. Alright, so those are all the books that I have for this History of My Bookshelves challenge. I had a lot of fun doing this, so I really thank Emma for creating this tag, or challenge basically, because I had a lot of fun doing it. But anyways, I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. If you guys do want to follow me on any of my social media accounts, please do so. You're always welcome to, and I will have those linked down below for you guys if you want to check them out. But other than that, I will see you guys next time. Bye!